In a brazen attack, Hezbollah drones struck an Israeli army base near Binyamina. The attack was meticulously planned and executed, showcasing the militant group's increasing sophistication in drone warfare. The attack marked a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict between Israel and the militant group. This incident is part of a broader pattern of rising tensions and hostilities that have plagued the region for decades. The drones, armed with explosives, inflicted heavy casualties on the Israeli military. The precision and impact of the attack left the military base in disarray, with significant damage to infrastructure and equipment. 4 soldiers were killed and several others were injured. The loss has been deeply felt within the Israeli Defense Forces, with families and comrades mourning the fallen and tending to the wounded. This attack, the deadliest since Israel's ground invasion of Lebanon, demonstrated Hezbollah's growing military capabilities and its willingness to directly engage Israeli forces. The group's ability to carry out such a high-profile attack has raised alarms about its strategic intentions and future plans. The attack sent shockwaves through Israel, prompting immediate calls for retaliation. Civilians, already on edge from the ongoing conflict, expressed their fears and frustrations through protests and public outcry. The Israeli government vowed a swift and decisive response, holding Hezbollah responsible for the loss of life and damage to its military infrastructure. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and military leaders convened emergency meetings to strategize their next steps. The attack highlighted the vulnerability of Israeli defenses to drone warfare, a tactic increasingly employed by militant groups in the region. This incident has sparked a renewed focus on enhancing Israel's anti-drone capabilities and overall military preparedness. This attack underscored the volatile security situation on the Israel-Lebanon border. The border area has long been a flashpoint for conflict, and this latest incident has only heightened the sense of instability and danger. It served as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat posed by Hezbollah and the potential for rapid escalation. Both sides remain on high alert, with military forces prepared for any further confrontations. The international community condemned the attack and called for restraint from all sides to prevent further bloodshed. Diplomatic efforts are underway to de-escalate the situation and bring both parties to the negotiating table. The incident raised serious concerns about the potential for a wider conflict. The Middle East, already fraught with numerous tensions, faces the risk of another prolonged and devastating war. The international community watched with bated breath, hoping to avert a descent into a full-blown war. Leaders from around the world are closely monitoring the situation, urging both Israel and Hezbollah to exercise caution and seek peaceful resolutions. In the wake of the Hezbollah drone attack, the United States swiftly moved to demonstrate its unwavering support for Israel. The attack, which caused significant damage and heightened regional tensions, prompted a rapid response from the US government. The US announced the deployment of a Terminal High Altitude Area Defense THAAD missile defense system to Israel. This move was seen as a strategic effort to bolster Israel's defensive capabilities against potential threats. This sophisticated system, designed to intercept short, medium and intermediate-range ballistic missiles, sent a clear message of deterrence to Hezbollah and its backers in Iran. The THAAD system's advanced radar and interception technology make it a formidable shield against aerial threats. The THAAD deployment, accompanied by the deployment of approximately 100 US troops, represented a significant escalation of American military involvement in the region. These troops are tasked with operating and maintaining the THAAD system, ensuring its readiness in case of an attack. This decision, authorized by President Joe Biden, underscored the US commitment to Israel's security in the face of growing threats. Biden's administration has consistently emphasized the importance of supporting allies and maintaining stability in volatile regions. The deployment was met with mixed reactions. While some viewed it as a necessary step to protect Israel, others expressed concerns about the potential for escalating conflict. While Israel welcomed the move as a sign of American resolve, some regional actors criticized it as unnecessarily provocative. Critics argued that the deployment could be seen as an aggressive act, potentially leading to further instability. Concerns were raised that the deployment could further inflame tensions and complicate efforts to find a peaceful resolution. Diplomatic channels were abuzz with discussions on the implications of this military move. The THAAD deployment highlighted the complex web of alliances and rivalries in the Middle East. The region's intricate political landscape means that any military action can have far-reaching consequences. It underscored the volatile nature of the region and the potential for external actors to be drawn into the conflict. Experts warn that such deployments, while intended for defense, can sometimes escalate tensions and draw in other nations, complicating the path to peace. Iran, a staunch ally of Hezbollah, condemned the US deployment of the THAAD system to Israel. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi issued a stern warning to the United States, stating that the deployment of American troops and military hardware to the region would only escalate tensions and jeopardize the safety of US personnel. Hezbollah, emboldened by its successful drone strike, vowed to continue its attacks against Israel. The group issued a statement claiming responsibility for the attack and warning of further strikes if Israel continued its offensive operations in Lebanon. Hezbollah's defiant posture underscored its determination to confront Israel and its allies. Iran's warning and Hezbollah's threats raised concerns about a wider regional conflict. The potential for miscalculation or unintended escalation loomed large, casting a shadow over the already volatile situation. The international community urged all parties to exercise restraint and seek a diplomatic solution. The exchange of threats highlighted the dangerous dynamics at play. The potential for a small-scale conflict to spiral into a larger conflagration remained a very real concern. Section 4. UN peacekeepers caught in the crossfire, a precarious position. The escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah placed the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, in a precarious position. These peacekeepers, tasked with maintaining a fragile peace along the volatile border, found themselves in an increasingly dangerous situation. Tasked with maintaining peace along the volatile border, UN peacekeepers found themselves caught in the crossfire of the escalating conflict, their neutrality and safety called into question. The situation on the ground was becoming more complex and hazardous by the day. In a concerning incident, 2 Israeli tanks breached a UN base in southern Lebanon. This breach was not just a physical incursion, but a symbolic one, highlighting the fragile nature of peacekeeping efforts in such a volatile region. The incident, condemned by UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, highlighted the risks faced by UN personnel operating in the region. Guterres emphasized the need for all parties to respect the inviolability of UN premises and ensure the safety of peacekeepers. The UN stressed the importance of respecting the inviolability of UN premises and the safety of its peacekeepers. This call for respect and protection was a reminder of the delicate balance that peacekeepers must maintain in conflict zones. Israel, for its part, defended its actions, claiming that the tank incursion was unintentional and occurred during an operation to evacuate injured soldiers. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, stated that the breach was a regrettable mistake in the heat of a critical mission. The incident, however, strained relations between Israel and UNIFIL, raising questions about the IDF's rules of engagement near UN positions. This strain added another layer of complexity to the already tense situation, making diplomatic efforts even more challenging. The incident underscored the challenges faced by UN peacekeepers in navigating the complexities of the Israel-Hezbollah conflict. Their mission, while noble, was fraught with dangers and uncertainties that required constant vigilance and adaptability. Their presence, while intended to maintain stability, risked becoming a flashpoint in the escalating tensions. The peacekeepers' role was crucial, yet their safety and effectiveness were continually tested by the volatile dynamics of the region. Section 5. Israel's stance on UNIFIL. Calls for withdrawal amidst tensions. The incident involving Israeli tanks and the UN base fueled calls within Israel for a reassessment of UNIFIL's presence in Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a vocal critic of UNIFIL, reiterated his calls for the withdrawal of the peacekeeping force, arguing that it had become ineffective in curbing Hezbollah's activities. Netanyahu accused UNIFIL of providing cover for Hezbollah, alleging that the militant group was using UN positions as shields, thereby limiting Israel's ability to target Hezbollah positions. He argued that UNIFIL's presence was no longer conducive to maintaining stability, and in fact was exacerbating tensions. Israel's stance on UNIFIL reflected its frustration with the UN's perceived inability to rein in Hezbollah. It also highlighted the deep mistrust between Israel and the militant group, a mistrust that complicated efforts to find a lasting peace. The calls for UNIFIL's withdrawal raised concerns about a potential security vacuum along the border. The absence of a peacekeeping force could lead to further instability and increase the risk of miscalculations that could spark a wider conflict.